Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, intro card kicking off our conversation this morning is I Will Not Cry for You. It's number 22 in the Dark Mirror deck. Let's get some sage going real quick, give you guys a minute to come in. But for those watching the recap, that way you don't have to sit here and just wait for me to start talking to other people. I've got no problems talking to myself. I know you're going to see it later. I mean, that's how I've been making videos the whole time, so I figured I'll just keep doing that. Yeah. So hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Nothing's really changed as of so far, astrologically or whatever. You guys know all that stuff moves pretty slow, so we still have all the retrogrades going on. We still have all the ships going on. Just had that beautiful new moon, a witch's moon last night, which is right when you can first see that first little sliver of the new moon. So the card that I got for you today. Good morning. The card I'm starting out with today is it's I Will Not Cry for You. And it is number 22, if you guys play the number game. And this card is all about closure. And it's about when a relationship ends, one person does the breakup first. It takes two people to break up, but one person does it first. And it sometimes takes a while for the other person to accept what's going on. And then they can have their own part of the breakup. And that's when they have their own emotional breakdowns and things like that. But eventually both people have to let it go. That makes sense. But and a lot of times what it is the person that initiates the actual breakup part, they broke up a long time ago in their mind. In their mind, they toyed with this, they twisted it around, they bounced it around, they went back and forth, trying to figure out what they want to do. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What am I going to do? You know, what happens if we do break up? You know, one person was going through this thought process well before the breakup even happened. So now the person who wasn't aware for whatever reason, and, you know, you wonder, it caught you off guard that, you know, this person's leaving you, but at the same time, they've been toying with it for a while, and you guys aren't that connected if you didn't see it coming. You know, it's a hard lesson that a lot of people have to go through. And that's the same thing when you're leaving one relationship and going into the next. If you haven't gone through your acceptance of the breakup of the old relationship and process that, you shouldn't be looking. I don't like the whole rebound thing that people do. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the only way to get over, you know, what does it guys say? Guys say that thing, the only way to get over a chick is to get on top of another one. And chicks do it too. This rebound thing, run out and rebound. That's exactly how you end up in karmic, seriously toxic relationships, is rebound relationships. You should always give yourself time to heal in between a breakup and your next relationship. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people try to use another relationship in order to heal. And that is also, as far as I'm concerned, that could be a third-party situation too. If you're carrying that negative energy from a past relationship and you haven't resolved anything that went on in there, you're just going to carry that and project it into your next relationship. Or worse, you'll end up accusing your next partner of things that they didn't do because you're paranoid now. All right. How you doing this morning, Crystal? So for our Earth Magic cards that we got today, we got Waterfall. And this is called Effortless. And this is all about you don't have to try so hard. You just need to cast enough intention to get the water flowing, and then you just let it flow. You don't need to hold on to it. You don't need to try to stop it. Some of the most beautiful things in nature, that they just happen. That just happens. Some of the most amazing experience of your life just happen, right? So this is, you put your intentions, you put just enough out there, you float your ideas, make your phone calls and inquiries and things like that. All those little moves cast out the intention of what it is you're looking for in the world to bring it back into you. So cast your intentions out and then allow things to flow at that point. This is also, we got unfoldment with the lotus flower today. And whenever I see a lotus flower, I always think of the saying, oh my goodness, the saying, a lotus cannot bloom in a garden built for a rose, right? Roses need all kinds of special pH balance levels and things like that. A lotus needs mud and muck and water, and it grows in shady type areas. This is showing in the sun, but they grow in like ponds and things like that. They're a pond flower, but they are the most beautiful flower in the world. And this card is talking about, with the effortlessness that you really need to do to, just keep reaching up. You just keep reaching up. You've come out of the muck, and now you just keep reaching up through the water until you hit the surface, and then boom, before you know it, you're bloomed. And you look back and you're like, wow, I just and just kept moving forward at my pace. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Not supposed to rush and force and fight. And with it tied into this card too, this is like, it's releasing. A lot of this is releasing. Release that pressure you got to make that big move, to have that big thing happen, because you are stressing and waiting for it so hard that that's actually going to start blocking it from coming in. Rob said something the other day. He's just like, everybody always cramming ourselves against these walls. And then he's like, and then as soon as you step away from them, they seem like they crumble. He goes, if you would have just held out a minute longer, da 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 da. And I'm like, baby, you didn't even hear what you said. What? And I'm like, the objective is you keep cramming your head into the wall, and it's not until you walk away from the wall. And that's exactly it. What? You don't need to cram your head against walls. You don't have to. Just knock and wait. See what happens. Give it a minute. Look at Louis C.K. with the cell phones. People bitching about their cell phones not being fast enough. And it's like, can you give it a minute? It's broadcasting a signal to the space, Can you give the universe a minute? Can you give it a minute? If it gave you exactly what you wanted right now, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? If you were suddenly a millionaire, you know how many people win the lottery and then they end up dead in a month because they totally lose their minds. They go out and they blow it on stupid stuff, and they either get murdered and somebody steals their money, or they OD on drugs and things like that, Sometimes not getting what you want is exactly at that moment is exactly what you need to get it later. And then people will ask for certain things in their lives. You'll ask the universe to change your life. You'll ask the universe, my life is sad. I'm sad. I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like this, and blah, 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 blah. And ask the universe, give me the strength to change, and give me the help to change. And then the universe completely towers your life. And you're like, oh, this isn't what I asked for at all. And it's like, well, you asked for change. You asked for change. And the universe is trying to help you by removing things that you don't need in your life anymore, but it don't feel like that. especially if you are a codependent person. That's why I always try to push people to be as independent as possible, because the more codependent you are, the more you can find yourself trapped in false relationships. You know, whenever you're in a relationship where one person or the other cannot leave for whatever, they don't have the money, they can't leave. That's the number one thing. That is the number one thing. What the world has, or especially in Western society now, you have to have two incomes to survive. And the idea of being a single income person is scary. But that goes into the whole money cannot buy you love. It cannot buy you happiness. I mean, for real, it can't. I know that for a fact, because I talk to women all day long, and their number one thing is they hate their husbands and they want to leave, but they can't afford to. And he makes all the money, and then now they're stuck. And I mean, it's all day in and out for me. Money. Stop choosing guys because they got money and they're stable. I mean, that's good qualities for a man to have, but that shouldn't be your only objective. You know, when you're looking for a partner, it shouldn't be, I'm just looking for someone with money. It's like dudes just looking for a chick that looks good. It's like, you got to be you got to think multidimensional. Go ahead. I let one question in a day. But your message could be important to somebody else too, so. We'll wait for their question. All right, going along with the waterfall and the unfoldment here, we have the moon. We are all still in a time of contemplation right now. I've told you I would look up, that'll be on the Pisces. I'm going to do a goddess call for all signs, all zodiacs today. I started with Aries. I don't know if I'm going to get them all done today, but I will try. I'm going to do a little story time for each zodiac and give you guys a goddess that's representative of your zodiac sign. But this is the moon, this is Pisces, and the Pisces card comes with Chang-O, and that is about taking responsibilities for your own decisions that landed you where you are. Like I said, did you choose a person just because they were stable, they had money, they had a house, and you got along with them kind of all right, but then now it's a year or two in, you're stuck? How did you get yourself stuck? Figure out how you got yourself stuck, and you may just figure out how to get yourself unstuck. King of Swords, the messages are coming in, right? This is, you need to be in control of your thoughts and words while dealing with people and handling your situations and balancing out your energy. Be clear. Don't hide your emotions, but also do not let them control you. And this is Seven of Swords in this dark. It says futility. Understand that if you're contemplating because you're in a space where you cannot use your words, or you do use your words and someone does not hear them, and it doesn't matter how much you try to tell them that you're struggling and you're in pain and everything else, then it is time to step away from that and seize into your own Empress energy and really start focusing on nurturing yourself and nurturing your your positive connections that are around you, one, but yourself. Take care of yourself. Do things for you, you know. I mean, it's cliche, but this stuff is true, guys. taking care of your physical vessel is important, and being surprised how empowering that could be for you. Me trying to quit smoking, but this is a time to accept things like some people just don't care. And it's not even so much that they don't have the mental capacity to understand where you're coming from. And if you don't have the mental capacity to understand where you're coming from, they don't understand your emotions. If they don't understand your emotions, then yeah, you're always going to feel terrible because you feel misunderstood all the time. It's time to take some leaps of faith, right? It's time to start taking some leaps, some things for you. The Fool card is also all about, he's on his own. He's starting off as the fool, as the child, the youth, the maiden, the fool on the road, right? You're just starting out, man. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where you're going to end up. You're just taking a step out there. And that is the biggest adventure ever. And it's the most terrifying thing to do for some reason. You know, just, yeah, take that first step. You take that first step, and then it leads to the next step and the next step and the next step. And then before you know it, you are well on your way, and you have learned a lot of important lessons already. The Fool card is also representative of walking away from places that you're miserable. You're so stuck, you don't even know what makes you happy, right? That's what the seven of the moon and the seven of swords here is that you're so stuck, you don't even know what makes you happy. You want to use your words clear to get through to people what's going on, and you really want to empower yourself, and you do just need to go ahead and take that leap. Just talking about, see, these two cards together here. Morning. These two together. This is the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is self-imprisonment. You're self-imprisoned. You're not nurturing right connections here. This isn't nurturing. See, the Queen is reversed. The Queen of Pentacles is Queen of Earth, and she's supposed to be the most nurturing queen in the deck. And she's reversed, and you're full of puppet strings, which means you're not nurturing the connections you're supposed to be nurturing. You're nurturing being controlled. You feel like allowing yourself to be controlled is somehow showing love. That's not love. That's just being controlled. Go ahead, Yasmin. May I come back to my mother's city? Or should you go back to your mother's city? Ooh, that's a hard one. From Brazil. I don't know if traveling is a very good idea for anybody right this second. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. You're from Brazil, though. Oh. Excuse me. I see your heart's in the right place, but I would be careful with everything that's going on right now. You could end up causing a lot of conflict. I would take some time to really reflect on this decision before you do it. Because it may, there's a high possibility for conflict if you go. Make sure that when you go, you're not causing conflict when you show up. You don't want to be that person. You want to make sure that you have resolved all your past shit before you go back to any place you've been in the past. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I am at 21 minutes already. Good morning. Hope you guys are having a beautiful start to your day. I think we got enough cards right now. Get some magic cards where we can focus our intent today. We're going to get some magic cards here, and then I will go over all the cards again, just recap them from all the ones that have come out while I've been sitting here shuffling, chatting with you ladies. Can you read a message for guidance? All right. This one. Elements. The element of fire, air, earth, and water combine to create a powerful protective boundary, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. Love this card. Aha. And I'm going to save this one that just jumped out for the very end. Oh. I don't know why I got like the shivers this morning. Not the shakes, but the shivers. It's a bit different. Shakes are when you feel bad. Shivers, like, I don't know. I feel tingly today. We shall see where that takes us. All right, so the first card that I pulled out today, the one in the photo, was I Won't Cry for You. And this is a denial card, actually, because this is all about not being able to release the past, right? This card talks about when people break up, one person always breaks up first. One person started breaking up months ago. One person's already had that seed planted. It's been growing into fruition the whole time. It has been running plans. They have been, what am I going to do? What is going to happen? And, and if you're not in tune with your partner, then the other person doesn't know that this person broke up with them. Like I broke up with my first husband probably about a year before I actually left. I mean, I actually moved out of the bedroom into my own room. So when I left, he still acted shocked. And it's like, dude, how could you not see it coming? That's exactly one of the reasons I'm leaving. I'm like, that's it. And if you're the person who the breakup was a shock, this is telling you need to take time to get your own closure. This is not, sometimes you need to create your own closure. I mean, that's, girls have been doing it for ages. That's why we burn our ex-boyfriend's pictures, or you can write a letter and set it on fire or whatever. You need to create your own closure and release the past, right? Release that breakup. Let it go. Sign a meaning to things and then file them away. The reason you can't stop thinking about it is because you don't have your own closure. And you're not going to get that from the other person. Their closure. They have it. You need yours. because you're feeding into a connection that's like, you're keeping a connection alive against the other person's will. And that's not fun for anybody. All right, the other cards I got here were the effortless. And the effortless is all about on your path. You do not have to try very hard. Oh, I know. That is a big problem. Grind, right? That's what you've been told. Keep working hard. Grind. Keep doing it. Sometimes all you gotta do is cast the intent, float the idea out to the universe, and then be open to receiving things. That's how you get things to come into you. You have to float them out and then let them go. Like even with me getting the job at the Zen Den. I went to the Zen Den a few times. Then finally I got the gall up to show her some of my artwork. And then after I brought in some art, she was like, I told her I did tarot readings. And all I did was float the idea. And then I was open to receive. And I went ahead following my path without really putting a whole lot of effort in. I just floated the idea out to the universe, and then I was open to receive it. Just let most beautiful things and just fall into place. You got to allow it to happen. All right. For personal development here, we've got the lotus flower and unfoldment. This is, and I said at the beginning of the thing too, my favorite saying for this card is a lotus cannot bloom in a garden made for a rose. A lotus needs a pond, it needs mud and muck and all that, and it needs to come up through the water, and it comes out of the mud, up through the water, reaches the top, and then it unfolds. This is another breaching the surface type card. And it's the same thing, even with the effortlessness, right? The lotus flower is just doing what it does. It's just following the sun. It's one of the most beautiful flowers in the world, but it grows in muck and mud. It can't live in a garden made for a rose. A rose needs special pH balances and things like that. You need to decide what kind of flower you are. And if you're not blooming where you are, you're in the wrong garden. Just point blank. I mean, there's watering the ground that you stand on, and then there's realizing you're root bound, you need a bigger pot, or you're not blooming. And if you're not blooming and evolving anymore, then you are in the wrong garden. All right. We're all still in a major time of contemplation right now. The moon card here. My interpretation of it is you need to contemplate how you got yourself stuck in the wrong garden. If you're not blooming, you need to contemplate how you got yourself stuck in the wrong garden. Now, if you were blooming and your garden's suddenly dying, you need to figure out what you have done or what you have allowed to happen. It's time to really start contemplating that personal responsibility for your own emotions and actions that have led you to where you are. King of Swords. This is about taking control of your thoughts and your words, being mindful of what you're saying and what you're paying attention to. See, like the 3, and he's always looking up. Move forward, be clear with your words. Don't hide things from people anymore. Express how you feel and calmly and eloquently as you can to people. But understand that some people, it's futility. Some people, it doesn't matter how many times you say it, they don't hear it and they're not going to hear it. And it's not that they don't care about your feelings. They just do not hold the mental capacity to understand what you're saying. And if they don't have the mental capacity to understand what you're saying, then it's not really their fault, but you've evolved past them at this point. If they can't understand what you're saying anymore, you've evolved past them. You're on different frequencies, and that's why everybody's miserable. So you need to figure out whether you can deal with the fact that your partner or whoever you're engaging with or thinking about while I'm doing this, how you're going to handle that situation, how you are going to handle Personal responsibility. Make sure that you take full responsibility of whatever decisions you make in that situation. Are you going to leave them? Is it that bad that you need to leave? There's one thing about not understanding but still being a very caring partner, but there's another thing when it comes to the point where they're actually holding you back from unfolding. We do have the Empress. And I've been saying this for a while. This is take care of yourself. This is nurture yourself. Nurture those that are most important to you, especially like if you have kids, pets, animals, anything that you are in charge of, little lives. That's where your focus should be. Focus should be care of you and those of which are in your care and your responsibility. Got it? Drink your water, eat your vegetables, clean out your animal tanks and your birds or whatever. Don't forget, when you get depressed and if you get up too much in your mind, then we become the person who's not paying attention, who's not seeing everything that's going on. And you would be surprised too, if you are an empath, you need to really take care of your animals very well because you do pick up on their energies too. So if you've got something in your house, like if your kids have pets and they're not taking very good care of them, you could be feeling that pet's hunger. You could be feeling its thirst. You could be getting sick because it's getting sick and nobody's paying attention to it. And this little thing is screaming out to the universe for attention. Nurture yourself and nurture those to which are in your care. The Fool. When you have done your contemplating and all that, it is time to start taking steps in new directions. Start to take a leap somewhere. Like I said, just take one step. That's all it is. One step, one conversation, float those ideas out to the universe. It's time to start doing that. All right? But be mindful always of the cats and the alligators there. You don't want to get pushed into the alligator's mouth by the cat or anything else like that. You want to follow your path, not be pushed down it, another path by somebody else, or pulled in by somebody else. You want to make sure that your leaps are your things. I did this before too. This is the Queen of Pentacles reversed and interference, right? Allowing yourself to be manipulated is not how you nurture connections. That is how you become a puppet. That is not nurturing energy. That is not Empress energy. All right? Just caving all the time creates a habit of just caving all the time. Are you always the one that ends up conceding? So that means your thought out words are not reaching these people, and then you're still just catering to them even though they don't understand you and they can't understand you. That's not nurturing the connections, guys. That's not nurturing the connections. Don't be manipulated and puppeted and everything else into doing things that you do not want to do or you do not like to do. 100%. Love is not about how much you can suffer for another person. I don't know where that jacked up program came from. And I know people, love means never having to say you're sorry. Watch that movie. Go look it up and watch it, because I guarantee she's not talking about just dealing with a dude that's whatever, a partner that's horrible to you and verbally or physically abusive or makes you do things you don't like to do. Or, I mean, and I've been there, ladies. I've been there. I've been in that situation where you're trying to save your relationship, so you're like doing out of the box things and trying, but you don't like it, but he does, and now it's created this weird tension all the time because that's what I mean. Don't let them manipulate you into things that you don't want to do and that you don't like. I mean, there's fun in trying new things, but if you don't like it, speak it. If you don't like it, speak it. Don't pretend to like things just to make other people feel better, because that will turn into a toxic seed in your relationships. All right. I'm at 35 minutes too, so I'm going long today. All right. Here is the secret card. You are my goddesses. That's why I'm doing the goddess a little goddess series where I'm going to go over all the goddesses in my book for your tarot signs, right? You guys are goddesses. You are more powerful than you realize, and you just give it away all the time. This is about reaching into that goddess energy and doing some serious healing for you and healing for those two which are in your care. Because if you're not healed, you are the most important thing in some of these people's lives that you care for. You need to take care of yourself too. You need to heal yourself. All right. The final part is the elements, right? The element of fire, air, earth, water combined to create a powerful protective boundary, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. So this is working on all levels with all the different types of frequencies. Whenever I see this card, I always think that air is your thoughts and words. Where are your thoughts and your words all the time? Are you speaking into existence what you want, or are you just complaining about what you don't want all the time? You can't just complain about what you don't want all the time. You have to start talking about what you want. No, this is a reading for everybody, honey. Focus on what you want. Like thoughts and words is air. Then you have fire. Where's your passion lie? What direction does your... What inspires you and calls you into those areas? That's what you need to focus on. Where does your passion lie? Water, emotions. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel bad, right? Focus on what makes you feel good. Then you come all the way back around to earth. Earth is the physical realm. That's where you put your thoughts, passions, emotions all in line in one direction, and then start taking physical steps. And that is how you will, and that is how you will start to really unfold. And that is when things will effortlessly start falling into place. You do not have to grasp. You do not have to, even with magic. A lot of you guys don't seem to realize this, but the biggest key for magic, and I learned this young, without before like The Secret and all the law of attraction stuff came out. The secret to magic, even making sigils, you're supposed to forget what they mean. When you use sigil magic, you create the sigils, and then you either burn them or bury them or whatever with them, or the paper, or you destroy them somehow, and you forget what the symbol even meant after a while. And that's when it comes in. So when you're casting your intentions out there, don't focus so much on projecting what you want so much. Be open to receiving what you want. And you probably get a lot farther with your magic and just in general. All right, loves. That's all the time that I have for today. I went over. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you later.